What's up, investors? It's the Russian dude. Let's get straight to the point and talk about some ridiculous Russian propaganda. Okay, so some of you know that right now is the soccer tournament is going on. Euro 2024, Ukraine is playing, Russia is not for some reason. And long story short, one of the spectators in today's match of Ukraine versus Slovakia, those two very interesting people were spotted. One guy does look like President Zelensky, and another one looks like a leader of North Korea, Kim Jong Un. I only wonder if it's a real one or not, because I'm almost certain the Russian propaganda will say, yes, this is the real one. Doesn't matter. What does matter, actually, is that those two people are together, and then in another picture we can see Kim Jong Un even holding a Ukrainian flag, which literally puts a absolutely... No, we're not gonna talk about this seal on this particular photo from the Russian propaganda, because how is this possible? Putin just went to North Korea, established new relationship with this country, and now this guy is cheering for Ukraine. Completely unacceptable. And by the way, I assume that some of you maybe still don't know it, but before Vladimir Zelensky became the president, he filmed a TV show called The Servant of the People, where guess what? He was playing the role of the president of Ukraine. And now just look how tables turned. I don't think I ever seen the most clever political campaign in my life. So if you've never seen it, please go ahead and do it. The weekends are here in case you have nothing else to see. And I think it should be available on Netflix. Let's even check right now really quick. So here I type Servant of the People, and yeah, unfortunately looks like it's not available here. But you know what, let me try actually changing my location using a VPN to, for example, Belgium, and then we're gonna just refresh the page. Well, there you have it, right here, Servant of the People, the TV show and the movie itself, available on Netflix right now. Thanks to Surfshark VPN, I was able to access geolocation restricted content in like, what, literally less than 5 seconds. But that's not even the most important one, because the most important feature of a VPN is that it adds an extra layer of security, which helps whenever you're using a public Wi-Fi. For example, Starbucks, McDonald's or even airports. You might think airport Wi-Fis are safe, but no, they are not. And skilled hackers, they can and most likely will sooner or later steal your personal information, which might be even photos or even your bank information. Besides that, Surfshark VPN offers their own antivirus, search engine which leaves absolutely no trace online, and then alerts whenever your personal data gets leaked online. And just in less than $1 extra per month, you can bundle everything I just mentioned together into the so-called Surfshark One subscription. And the best part about all of this is that I did partner with Surfshark VPN to get you guys a very cool offer. Just make sure to use my link down below and apply a code Russian Dude for 4 months extra. I am personally using a VPN on my devices every single day, my laptops, phone and iPad, so for me this is literally a no-brainer. Just once again, please don't forget to use my link down below and apply code Russian Dude to unlock these 4 months extra. This is also a very good way to support the channel and my work. For this, thank you so much, Surfshark VPN, and now let's get back to the program. Right, now let me give you an update from the front lines, and then we're also gonna talk about the Z Army training battle Dolphins. And yes, I did change to my Florida Panthers jersey, because right now, literally in 20 minutes, game 6 starts. Panthers already need to win this one, so guys, let's cheer all together. Let's go Panthers. They absolutely have to win. This is a Stanley Cup Finals. And yeah, so before we go to the actual Ukrainian front lines right here, first of all is the video from Rostov region, located on the territory of Russia, where a local military warehouse, as you can see, is on a very big fire. Then in Krasnodar region, local residents heard some very loud noises last night coming from the local airfields, which obviously Russians used to store their military planes. And according to these fresh satellite images, this is approximately where the impact zone was, where theoretically was located the local training center for future Russian pilots. So nevertheless, the attack did happen. Russian propaganda is silent, confirming that it was a success. In Glubokie, located along Kharkov front line, we can see a video of Ukrainians pushing the positions of Russians and trying to drive them further away from Kharkov front lines, once again also confirming complete failure of new Putin's offensive against Kharkov. And then right here is yet another video from Serebryansky Forest from the International Legion fighting on the side of Ukraine, where this time is a Brazilian mercenary fighting to defend the country. Next we have a small compilation from the Eastern front lines, where Ukrainians, they did discover a way to attack and destroy Russian so-called infamous turtle tanks. I mean, yes, the main purpose of them was to protect against FPV drones, so that's why they were building this abnormal infrastructure on top of it, thinking that that's it. Well, Ukrainians found a way. They slow down their drones, they find open entries, like places where infantry goes in and out, things like this. They go literally inside of there and, well, the consequences, they speak for themselves. And speaking more about tanks, right here is the video from Marinka, where you can see one of them standing literally in the open field, no protection, no nothing, no camouflage. Well, inevitably it was split into atoms. As we move closer to the south, according to the Z propagandists, their air defense, unfortunately for them, intercepted their very own military helicopter Ka-29. This happened approximately next to Anapa, and their air defense called Pantsir mistakenly, quote-unquote, they took this helicopter as the enemy helicopter. They did not question anything, nothing like this. They launched the interception system and, well, the results are devastating for the Z army. And the most extraordinary news also coming to us from the south recently is that Russians allegedly started to train literally battle dolphins. No, they're not gonna equip them with machine guns on their backs, they're not gonna turn them into cyborgs, they're not gonna give them lasers, nothing like this. Instead, they will train them to detect something suspicious underwater, whether these are Ukrainian divers, whether these are Ukrainian underwater drones or on top of the water drones, something like this. As long as there's something abnormal, theoretically the dolphins must return to their trainers and instructors, and they, no, well, not say, but make some kind of a signal that, well, there is something suspicious in this area. This news, to be honest, came to us several months ago, and since then we see that the attacks against the Crimean Peninsula, against Sevastopol Bay and everything related there in the Russian Navy in general, they only intensified, which allows us to assume that battle dolphins did not have that much impact in this special military operation. But probably the biggest news, at least of this week, is that recently a huge Wiretap network was literally discovered inside Kremlin. According to the sources which presented this news, this was previously installed by Prigozhin. All the way since 2022 he was assembling data, assembling conversations, things like this, to use against the Russian authorities in case something happens, in case he wants to run for power, which inevitably, as you remember guys, he did. Which, to be honest, in some way answers the questions why Prigozhin was so involved within the Russian authorities and why he knew so much without suspiciously talking to too many people. Well, now potentially we have our answer. He heard all of this on these recordings. Approximately 1 year ago, in June of 2023, right before this armed mutiny organized by Prigozhin started, just a couple of days before, this huge wiretap network inside Kremlin was unfortunately discovered. Then they somehow connected the ties to Prigozhin, or maybe they were just looking for an excuse to give anything against Prigozhin to Putin. It doesn't matter at this point, so Prigozhin, according to the article, had to act swiftly. He could no longer plan his armed mutiny and walk on Moscow anymore, so he had to act with whatever he had at that time. That is why he assembled whoever was around him, they started marching towards Moscow, and well, the rest is history. But to be honest, if you think about it, I mean, we already know what happened with Prigozhin several months later after this unfortunately failed mutiny. So this wiretap network, which is attributed to Prigozhin's deeds, it may be just an excuse for the Russian propaganda because maybe somebody else did it from the West, some Western spies, American spies or anything like this. And they obviously did not want to tell the Republic that our protection, our defense as counterintelligence is so bad that we did not notice it for so many years. That is why they decided to put it on somebody who is no longer a threat to power, specifically Prigozhin. And last but not least, recently yet another super secret dacha of Putin was discovered. This one is in Crimea, as you can see from this video. The total area of this absolute, not even just a mansion, but the entire small country within a country is bigger than Monaco. Which, this is the 6th resident of Putin, which was allegedly discovered since the beginning of his rule back in 2000. So it only allows you to also once again assume that probably there is way more than this. It is next to the lake, it has 2 helipads, several mansions, it has even an artificial lake where he can breed trout, things like this. There is even an artificial waterfall and specifically designated, specifically brought super cows which produce the most marbling steaks possible. One of its neighbors reportedly is Roman Abramovich, one of the most famous Russian oligarchs, and there's also some kind of a sauna spa complex, which allegedly where they kinda have fun together, spend time, rest, talk business, talk money, as long as they remain friends, obviously. But judging by the way and speed that Putin literally eliminates every single enemy he has, and at this point even friends, by the time he can actually enjoy all his dachas, mansions and castles, probably there will be nobody left for him to spread the joy, to share the joy, so he'll just be there all alone. There you have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel if this was interesting, informative, or both. Thank you so much Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video. Please make sure to check the links down below. And everything else, my PayPal donations, Patreon, Instagram, of course, merch, you can also guys find down below. Thanks so much for watching. See you on Tuesday.